Ahoy adventurer, you asked for it, so let's talk about my picks for the 3 best beginner healing specs. If you're brand new to the game, I recommend checking out my top 3 DPS classes for beginner's guide. DPS is a lot more forgiving, especially in solo content, and allows you to start understanding the basic mechanics of the game. Your role as a healer is to keep your party alive and shield your tank from heavy attacks. Although you have a simplified DPS rotation, when starting out, focus on your healing output and mana management. Once you start understanding your spec and your healing becomes almost autopilot, you can start experimenting with providing damage alongside your party. Besides range and melee, there are 2 types of healing styles, reactive and proactive. A reactive healer will heal based on the damage taken. A proactive healing style requires you to understand fights and the damage your party is about to take. One last quick note before we get into the meat of this video. I want to say thank you. Thank you for your interest in healing. The game needs you. Healing can be daunting and frustrating at times and can leave you feeling like the goalie of your high school soccer team. It doesn't matter how many balls you save that day, all people care about is the one that you let in to lose the match. The fact that you clicked on this video shows your interest in becoming a healer, as basic as this video is. Once I started getting the hang of healing, I found it extremely enjoyable. I even think healing may be better at the other roles. I definitely use my defensives and self-heals a lot more, and avoid puddles to take stress off the healer. Anyway, let's get into the guide. The Holy Priest is arguably the best healing spec for beginners because of their reactive healing style. A real bread and butter spec when it comes to healing. If your party's taking damage, you'll be there to mend their wounds. The Holy Priest has great shields and powerful direct healing output. They also have insane AoE heals and party-wide dispels when situations get a little hairy. They are pretty sought after in groups because of their utility, and you'll have DPS arguing over who deserves your power infusion buff. The Holy Priest also has a party-wide stamina buff that will last 1 hour for all your party members. The Restoration Druid is a prime example of proactive healing. They use spells called HOTS, which stands for Healing Over Time. The Resto Druid doesn't really have any direct healing spells unless you count Swift Mend, but it requires your party member to already have HOTS applied. Regrowth and Rejuvenation are your main HOTS you'll be using to keep your party topped off, while spells like Iron Bark acts as a shield. The Resto Druid also has great utility and a party-wide versatility buff, not to mention the mobility of your cat and travel forms. The Druid is also a great class if you're planning on playing multiple roles. It is one of the few classes that with the right gear, you can play tank, DPS, and healer. Now I'll try not to let my bias show too much because it's important to find the healing style that you feel most comfortable with, but the Resto Shaman is one of my favorite healers in the game. A pretty solid mix of reactive and proactive healing spells. They utilize totems to assist in AoE healing and have spells like Healing Wave and Chain Heal for a more focused direct heal. It might seem a little overwhelming at first, but this class has so much utility because of their use of totems. There's a totem for almost every encounter, from slows and stuns to shields and movement speed. The Resto Shaman also has great passive damage and one of the few healing specs that has Lust or Heroism built into their toolkit. I hope you found this video helpful in creating your first healing character in World of Warcraft. If you did, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. You can also follow my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/yourfrienddustin. As always, happy adventuring, love one another, and be safe out there. Okay, bye!